The Young and the Restless spoilers. The tension in Genoa City is escalating, and Mariah Copeland is at the heart of it, struggling with the weight of a terrible secret. Tomorrow's episode of The Young and the Restless will see Mariah grappling with a guilt that is eating away at her, as her actions while on a recent business trip have left her feeling more lost and confused than ever before. Despite her attempts to keep the truth hidden, her behavior betrays her, and it's only a matter of time before the people closest to her start to piece together what's wrong. Mariah's relationship with Tessa Porter has always been built on trust, love, and understanding. However, something has changed in Mariah, and it's clear that she's not acting like herself. While she hasn't yet confessed to the full extent of her actions, it's obvious that something has gone terribly wrong. Even though Mariah tries to keep her distress hidden, Tessa can't help but notice her wife's strange behavior. It doesn't take long before Tessa begins to question what's going on. Why is Mariah so distant? Why is she so out of character, acting secretive and withdrawn? Tessa, ever the attentive partner, knows that something is amiss, and she begins to suspect that Mariah may be hiding something from her. Complicating matters further is Mariah's mother, Sharon, who can sense that something is deeply troubling her daughter. Sharon, always the intuitive and nurturing figure, can feel that Mariah is carrying a heavy burden, but she doesn't know exactly what it is. Sharon has seen Mariah go through her share of struggles, but this is different. Mariah is not opening up, and Sharon can only watch as her daughter's anxiety grows, knowing that the truth must eventually come to light. As the pressure mounts, Mariah's guilt becomes overwhelming. She feels sick to her stomach every time she interacts with Tessa, knowing that she's keeping a painful secret that could destroy their relationship. What's worse is that Mariah is unable to explain the full depth of her feelings to Tessa. She's scared of the consequences, scared that the truth will drive them apart for good. But deep down, Mariah knows that keeping this secret is eating her alive, and it won't be long before the truth slips out in the worst possible way. The real question is whether Mariah has cheated on Tessa, and if so, with whom? Has she betrayed her wife's trust with another woman, or is there a more shocking twist in store? Given Mariah's recent struggles and the trauma she's been dealing with after the return of Ian Ward, it's possible that Mariah acted impulsively, drowning her pain in alcohol and making decisions she would later regret. She's been through so much already, from her kidnapping to her emotional scars, and it's clear that the weight of her past is taking a toll on her mental health. In a moment of weakness, perhaps fueled by alcohol, Mariah might have sought solace in the wrong place. The guilt she feels about her actions is palpable, and it becomes clear that this mistake is not one she can simply forget. As she continues to spiral, she begins to question whether she can ever regain Tessa's trust, and if the damage she's done is irreversible. Even though there is no indication yet that Mariah has physically cheated, the emotional betrayal she is experiencing is just as painful. It's the secrecy, the shame, and the burden of hiding the truth that weighs so heavily on her. Mariah's emotional turmoil is compounded by her fear of the consequences. She knows that admitting her mistake would be the only way to begin the healing process, but she's terrified that it will lead to the end of her marriage. Tessa deserves better, and Mariah knows it. But can she face the consequences of her actions and come clean before it's too late? As the episode unfolds, the audience will be on the edge of their seats, wondering what Mariah will do. Will she come to her senses and tell Tessa the truth, or will she continue to hide behind her guilt, allowing it to fester until it destroys everything? No matter how this plays out, one thing is certain: the consequences of Mariah's actions will reverberate throughout Genoa City, and her relationship with Tessa may never be the same again. Mariah's struggle with her guilt is a poignant reminder of how powerful secrets can be, and how easily they can unravel even the most solid relationships. As she faces the weight of her mistakes, the question remains: can love survive betrayal, or is it too late for Mariah and Tessa to move past this moment of weakness? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure: the road to redemption will be anything but easy for Mariah. This extended scene takes Mariah's internal conflict and explores the emotional complexity of her actions, while also adding depth to her relationships with Tessa and Sharon. If you'd like to expand further or add more details, feel free to let me know. In the ever-turbulent world of the young and the restless, where power struggles, family feuds, and emotional betrayals dominate the landscape, the latest developments surrounding Mariah Copeland, Tessa Porter, and the possibility of a life-changing secret becoming public have the fans on edge. The show has once again reminded viewers that in Genoa City, there are no secrets that remain buried forever. Especially when it comes to the hearts of its beloved characters. Mariah, who has been grappling with her own demons and inner turmoil, may have set off a chain of events that could alter her life and her marriage to Tessa forever. The question looms large: if Mariah did indeed betray Tessa's trust, could she be carrying the consequences of that betrayal in the form of an unexpected pregnancy? And if so, would Mariah come clean, or would she attempt to bury the truth further, creating an even deeper rift between her and Tessa? Mariah's guilt and the secret that could ruin everything. Mariah Copeland has always been one of the most genuine characters on the show, known for her strong sense of loyalty and her loving relationship with Tessa. However, as the plot thickens, it becomes clear that Mariah is struggling with a heavy burden. The recent business trip, where Mariah's actions remain shrouded in mystery, has left her emotionally scarred. Something happened during that trip, something that's causing her to act out of character. Though she hasn't revealed what transpired, her actions and demeanor betray her sense of guilt. Tessa, who is no stranger to Mariah's quirks and mood swings, begins to notice the drastic shift in her wife's behavior. And Sharon, ever the protective mother, can feel the weight of the secret pressing on her daughter's shoulders. For Mariah, the guilt is suffocating. She knows that whatever she's done could destroy the trust that she and Tessa have worked so hard to build. Yet, she hasn't come clean. The question is, what exactly did Mariah do, and with whom? Did she cheat on Tessa with another man? While there's no evidence to suggest that Mariah has physically cheated, the emotional betrayal is just as devastating. And now, as Mariah's guilt continues to escalate, the possibility of a pregnancy emerges as a game changer. If Mariah is indeed pregnant, would she come clean to Tessa, or would she try to hide the truth? Can she live with the guilt of hiding something so monumental from her wife, or will the truth eventually come to light? The pregnancy dilemma. A new life or the end of Mariah? If Mariah is carrying a child, this revelation would shake the foundation of her relationship with Tessa to its core. The couple has been through their fair share of trials, but this would be a new level of complication, one that could either drive them closer together or pull them further apart. The notion of expanding their family may have been a dream in the back of Mariah's mind, but could a pregnancy conceived under such dubious circumstances ever be a blessing, or would it be a painful reminder of her betrayal? Tessa's reaction to such a revelation would be crucial in determining the future of their relationship. If Tessa finds out that Mariah has betrayed her and that the pregnancy is the result of that betrayal, the emotional fallout could be catastrophic. Could Tessa ever forgive Mariah for such a betrayal? Forgiveness would require an immense amount of love, trust, and understanding, and whether or not Tessa can move past the hurt will be the deciding factor in whether their relationship survives. Mariah would have to make a choice: keep the child, knowing it may be the only thing left that could give her redemption, or let go of it to preserve her relationship with Tessa. Either way, this decision would be a monumental turning point for Mariah, forcing her to confront not only the mistakes of her past but the uncertain future that lies ahead. At the same time, the idea of a child could act as a bridge between them, giving them something to focus on together that isn't tied to their past mistakes. But it could also act as a wedge, reminding them both of the fractures in their relationship. Could a child be the thing that unites them, or would it simply complicate everything even further? Tessa and Daniel. A tempting distraction. As if Mariah's inner turmoil weren't enough, the show introduces yet another layer of complication with the relationship dynamics between Tessa and Daniel Romalotti. While Mariah struggles with her secret and the weight of the potential pregnancy, Tessa finds herself growing closer to Daniel, and the two share a brief, emotionally charged encounter. This spark between Tessa and Daniel is enough to make Mariah's worst fears come true. Could Tessa's feelings for Mariah be so damaged by the betrayal that she turns to Daniel for comfort and escape? While Tessa and Daniel's connection might appear innocent at first, it could escalate into something far more complicated. This fling, or potential affair, could act as the catalyst that forces Mariah to confront her own mistakes, especially if Tessa finds herself drawn to Daniel in a way that challenges her loyalty to Mariah. A romance between Daniel and Tessa would not only put a strain on Mariah's already fragile relationship with her wife, but it would also expose deeper emotional wounds. If Tessa does become involved with Daniel, it could serve as a permanent rupture in Mariah, one that might be impossible to mend. Tessa, feeling betrayed by Mariah, might seek solace in Daniel's arms, and as the emotional and physical connection grows, so too does the distance between Tessa and Mariah. Could this be the beginning of the end for Mariah? Would Tessa be able to forgive Mariah and reconcile with her, or would she find herself drawn into a new and passionate connection with Daniel, one that could ultimately tear her apart from Mariah for good? The man who could change everything. The mystery of Mariah's betrayer. Another question arises as the storyline deepens. If Mariah cheated on Tessa with another man, who is he? And could he make his way to Genoa City? The mystery surrounding Mariah's betrayal hangs over her like a dark cloud. As much as she might try to bury the truth, the possibility remains that the man in question could appear on the scene at any moment. Could he come to claim responsibility for his actions? Would he want to step into Mariah's life and Tessa's? If the pregnancy turns out to be real? This man's arrival in Genoa City would cause an even bigger storm, potentially leading to more chaos and conflict. Mariah, caught in the center of the storm, would have to face her past head-on. She could find herself in the most complicated of situations, forced to choose between her past mistakes and her future with Tessa. The truth of what happened during that business trip would finally come to light, and the repercussions of that truth could be far-reaching. A crossroads of love and betrayal, the future of Mariah. The ultimate question remains, can Mariah and Tessa survive this? Love and betrayal are central themes in The Young and the Restless, and the path ahead for Mariah is unclear. Mariah, carrying the weight of her guilt and the possible consequences of her actions, must decide how to move forward. Will she confess to Tessa and hope for forgiveness, or will she hide the truth and risk losing everything? The road to redemption is fraught with obstacles, but it's the only way for Mariah to rebuild what she's broken. Meanwhile, Tessa must decide whether she can forgive Mariah for her betrayal, or whether the wounds are too deep to heal. The possibility of a new relationship with Daniel could distract her from the pain, but would it ultimately be the answer she's looking for, or would it be another misstep that leads to further heartbreak? In the world of The Young and the Restless, where drama and emotional stakes are always high, the future of Mariah remains uncertain. With the secrets, lies, and betrayal hanging in the balance, the next few weeks will be crucial in determining whether Mariah and Tessa can rebuild their relationship, or if their love story will come to a tragic end. This expanded narrative offers a deep dive into the emotional complexity of Mariah and Tessa's relationship, bringing in the key elements of betrayal, guilt, and the possibility of a future child. It raises questions about forgiveness, trust, and the consequences of Mariah's actions, as well as the impact of Tessa's potential connection with Daniel Romalotti. If you'd like to further develop or refine this storyline, feel free to let me know.